There we go. Hello, everybody. How are we doing tonight? JMZ 56, how are you tonight? Bona Piper, Paul the Piper, good to see you guys. Hey, Stephen Skip, Hat Piper, good to see you guys. Kilted Piper, Steve, hello. And Pipe Jan, George Tiedemann, the Bearded Piper, West Virginia Grizzly, Rockin' Steady, Patrick Izzo, South Jersey Piper, good to see all you guys. Great to see the names going by. Smoking Kentucky Piper, Kirk Maxon, how you doing, Kirk? Chuck, good to see you, Chuck. It's not morning here, though. WKR Piper, Boca de Boynton, Pipes and Bees, Rob Sherritt. Great to see so many guys coming out tonight. Getting my drink ready here. Going with simplicity, but a little higher brow than the Miller. So I hope all are well and keeping safe. As we get used to whatever the heck this thing is and is going to be. It's interesting times for sure. Hello, Big Dave, Everett Young, Road King Piper, Luke Reisner, good to see you, buddy. Stephen Schmidt, Robert Dawson, Jeffrey Feinberg, PBR Street Gang, great to see all you guys. Hey, Blue Dog, how's it going? Pirate Cake, good for you. I do like Ewing. It is a fine beer. Nothing fancy, but a little bit more flavor there than you get with a Michelob or certainly a Miller or certainly a Budweiser. We need a pipe. I've gotten out a collection of pipes I don't normally smoke. I normally smoke on YouTube just to mix it up a little bit. So I'm actually going to start off with this Church Warden. This is a Big Ben Church Warden. Nice long pipe that I thought I would like, but you know, actually it's a little bit awkward to smoke, especially since I'm a clencher most of the time. It winds up getting in the way, but we'll enjoy it tonight. And what I'm going to be putting in it is I've actually got some of this homegrown burley from my friend Pamper Tantrum. And really, I've had a bit of this. I'm really enjoying it. Look at that, just whole leaves, dried out, pretty much ready to pack. So what I've been doing with these is I just break some off. And I kind of treat it a little bit like a flake and just kind of mash it in there. It's very dry, but that's okay. I don't mind dry. Hello, Artful Codger. Good to see you, Ben. Yardism, welcome. Rob Austin, Robert Dawson. I think I saw you earlier. There was someone else in there. Did I see the Wheeled Piper in there? Names go by fast. Which is good, because that just means there's a lot of you. And I'm glad that a lot of you guys are taking time out to join me tonight. So what I've been thinking about today is, you know, what the heck am I going to talk about, obviously. And I'm sure that you all have some ideas, and we'll definitely get into that. But, you know, I wanted to start by saying that I'm really hoping that what we can do here tonight, and maybe in weeks to come, is just use this as a chance to get a little bit of normalcy back in our lives. You know, I know it's never going to be completely normal until this virus nonsense is over. And I don't mean to call it nonsense because it's not serious, but just because it's annoying to me. But, you know, maybe we can use this as a virtual pipe club get together, just smoke a pipe, have fun, chat with one another. No agenda. And just enjoy a little bit of what life was a few weeks ago, and hopefully will be in a not too many weeks in the future. Dominic, good to see you. You ought to give Carl our best. Corvette Jim, how you doing, buddy? Yes, Bearded Piper, there is no normal. You're right. But we can pretend. Road King Piper, hello. Pipe Tree, how you doing, Tree? Crazy time indeed, Chris. PBR Street Gang, that's just funny. Pipes and Chores, good to see you, buddy. J Lucas 39, how you doing, my friend? And Daniel Tobias, hello. Yeah, Wheeled Piper, we are finding the new normal every day, aren't we? And I guess that's really the way life should be. Nothing else stays static. Why should we expect our experience to? Jack Kurtz, that sounds fantastic. Yukon Jack and Haunted Bookshop. Paul's got the brown twist out tonight. I agree, South Jersey Piper. This is the only church warden I own. It is quite awkward. But it's nice to bring it out for a smoke now and then. Alan T, as long as we all stay 6 feet apart, this is considered a legal gathering. Plus, at least from my perspective, it is essential. Be careful, Everett. You said that kind of loud. That's okay, Bearded Piper. It's not for everyone. We're getting there, Daniel. We're getting there. Dallas win, that's fantastic. Lucky guy. That's a good point, Boca. I could actually use this to ensure social distancing. Yeah, Ben, that is a great cross that we must bear. But, you know, it's our responsibility to do it so that future generations don't have to when they smoke our estates. Really, Daniel? So that's actually double what we've been told here. We've been told 6 feet. And I believe the latest numbers are no more than 30 people. Although it's changing by the minute. You know, you just can't keep up on it. And, you know, the bottom line is just try to stay home if you can. That's what I'm taking from this. The best thing you can do is stay home. Well, Ben, that's because you're a good man and taking a lot of bullets. Sorry to hear about that, Smoking Kentucky Piper. That must be a difficult time. Hey, H Piper YTPC. Good to see you, Ollie. And Mr. Kasimba. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, Steph and Skip, there's a lot of kids that are having problems right now, especially, special needs kids, kids on the autism spectrum where they just don't handle change very well. I actually have a brother who's, older. He's my younger brother, but he's certainly not a child with autism, and this is very hard for him. Not so much because of the fear, but because of the disruption in his schedule. It's just very hard for him to cope with. Well, Bearded Piper, I hope you're very busy these days, because we certainly need more of those kids. Chuck, you can buy tobacco at the supermarket? I don't know, PBR Street Gang. It hasn't been an easy week, to be honest with you. I don't know how many of you guys are in this, work from home category, and I know a lot of guys are just not working, which is really bad and unfortunate, and I feel for you guys. I'm very fortunate in that I have a job that I can do remotely. I just need a computer to do most of what I do. But it's strange. I am working probably almost twice as much as I would if I were actually in my office, because there's no interruptions. There's no like I get up pretty early and I'll usually check my email. But then I stop because I have to get ready to go to work. Now I just kind of roll straight through. And before I know it, it's afternoon. So I'm working like 2 or 3 extra hours in the morning, and then everybody's online and they want things, so they're sending you emails at 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the afternoon, and you gotta answer them. Have a good one, Steph and Skip. Thanks for stopping in. Big Dave, it might be. I decided, and please don't listen to this, it's completely not true, but I decided that Haunted Bookshop was sufficient to prevent infection. So I've been smoking as much of it as I can. I figure it's as likely to be effective as anything else we have right now. It's not zero probability that it'll work, so why not? Yeah, Monty 53, a lot of folks are being told that that's what we got last week. Everett's got some velvet going. Is that what you're calling it tonight, Everett? Yardism's Haunted Bookshop smoke shows up on radar. Well, that's got to be doing something. Kilted Piper Steve's asking, when I started doing pipes, what was the biggest challenge and how did I get around it? Biggest challenge. I guess for me it was getting to the point where I could make my own stems, which is pretty advanced. You know, not a lot of folks that do pipe restoration want to get to that point. So, and how I got around it was I bought a metal lathe. That's what really made it possible for me to do that. I did it for a while with a wood lathe, but it just doesn't have the right level of precision. Prior to that, though, I guess I would probably say it was the buffing apparatus. That was probably the big breakthrough for me. You know, I was using a lot of micro mesh pads and all that, and it worked, but the buffer's just much, much better. The CDC will never say that, Piper, on the 45, even if it's true. Yeah, I think 3 makes it true, WKR Piper. Mike Clark, it sounds good. Old Joe Krantz is another great one to combat this virus. Boca, I'm not making them. That's a good question though. What were folks' biggest challenges in terms of smoking a pipe? What anyone want to talk about what that might have been? Pipes and bees. I got you. I will definitely give you a shout out for that. Let me know if that's what you want. Oh, you liked Father the Flame, Dallas? I found it to be an interesting movie. It wasn't what I was expecting, to be honest, but it was okay. Who's the greatest Philadelphia Eagle ever? Oh man. That's a tough one. I'm going to give that some thought. I know there's a local journalist named Ray Didinger who's covered the Eagles forever, and he wrote a book called the Philadelphia Eagles Encyclopedia, I think, and I just got it this year for as a Christmas gift from my wife. And he argues that I believe it was a quarterback named Tommy McDonald who played in the early '60s was probably the greatest Eagle. I don't know much about Tommy McDonald, but I greatly respect Ray Didinger, so I guess if I had to write something that was going to be checked, I'd go with that. From my own experience, you know, I grew up in the Harold Carmichael, Bill Berge, that era, and you know, those are the guys I'm going to be thinking of. Yeah. David Akers is fantastic. I don't know if I'd call him best ever, but he certainly is up there. Was the bald eagle originally from Philly? I don't think so. Yeah, PBR Street Gang, you're right about that. I mean, he was... But in Donovan's defense, he always played the game fairly. Yeah, Reggie White's a possibility. Randall Cunningham's a great choice. Did not think we'd be talking about who's the best, the greatest Eagle of all time. It's a great topic, though. Deacon of Defense. Like, yeah, Carmichael. So Mike Clark's asking, is Briar 50 years old better than new aged Briar? So by new, maybe I don't understand. So you're asking a chunk of Briar that's just been sitting on a shelf for 50 years versus a chunk of Briar that's been in a pipe for 50 years? I guess I don't understand the difference between 50 years old and new aged. Hey, Arkansas Mike, good to see you. Dawkins, yeah. No question about it. Sorry to hear that, Everett, but you know, you're not alone. Hello there, the extract. Good to see you, buddy. So I finished that up. That was again a Big Ben church warden that I do not smoke very often, and it smokes great. It's just awkward. So I'm glad that I'm going to put it down now. And I was smoking some homegrown burley from Tamper Tantrum, and it's fantastic stuff. Yeah, Christian, I know. I think we're all going to be feeling that way soon. Oh, Everett, are you going to be doing any mixing? So next pipe up, this is one you probably have not seen. This is another one of those Briar Spirits pipes I was telling you about. I think in the last live stream I had that large bent Briar Spirit. You can see this is rusticated on one side, smooth on the other. This was made by Kirk Fitzgerald, who was a good friend of mine and a very talented pipe carver. He did everything by hand. Now, this is a factory stem, but the stumble is entirely done by hand. No machinery, except a drill press to drill the tobacco chamber. Yeah, I can't suggest that a church warden is something you should get, C-Spark, but they're. I'm glad I have one. I occasionally enjoy it, but it's certainly not a must-have. Well, Alan T, from what I understand, I'll just get sick. If bacon old-fashioned is the cure, I'm gonna get the disease. Hello, Piano Piper. Good to see you. And Eric S. Best desert island blend, sort of where we are. Yeah. Thank you, Daniel. Pete Rose, Cincinnati. Yeah, Pete Rose was a Philly. So in this pipe, I'm going to put some. I put in an order with Smoking Pipes last week because they had that 15% off sale on Cornell and Deal, and I got some Bayou Morning, which I was craving. I really love Bayou Morning. It's a Virginia Perique, and it's got a ton of Perique in it, and it just rings my bells. I see, Mike Clark. So it's my understanding, and I'm not an expert by any stretch on this, but it's my understanding that there's a lot of sort of hocus pocus around, older Briar. First off, you got to keep in mind that the Briar is sitting in the ground for probably 50 to 70 years before the burl is big enough for it to be harvested. And then it goes through a long process of boiling and drying and curing, and then usually the pipe maker will keep it sitting in his shop for at least 5 years before he'll use it. So it's hard to say that, a new pipe is not really new Briar. One of the benefits of older pipes is simply that they've been broken in already. So it's not about the Briar necessarily, but it's about the fact that somebody's already done the hard work for you. Probably been. So yeah, I think that's where I come down on that. I don't think there's anything magic about old Briar. It's more about the pipes being broken in. Founding Fathers, that's an enjoyable blend, Sea Spark. Not really much for aromatics, but that's one that I have enjoyed. COVID-19. I wouldn't be surprised, Bearded Welshman. I really wouldn't. It's amazing to me how quickly the spammers and the sort of predatory phone call folks have jumped on this. I'm getting 2 or 3 calls a day telling me that my federal, what was it called? Emergency assistance check or something like that is ready, and they want to set up a time to talk to me about it. And I know this isn't true. I probably wouldn't be getting one anyway, but I know that these are, but there's people out there that are going to get taken in by this stuff, and it's really sad that they're taking advantage of this situation. Yeah, emails as well, Christian. Hot Wings 326, good to see you. And I think that's actually accurate. Whiskey will kill it at full strength. Hello, gentleman Mike. Welcome. Good to have you along. So I'm sorry, someone was asking about a desert island blend before we got off on that, and then it became a pandemic blend. I don't know. Have a good walk, John. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. I just don't know if I've gotten to the point where there's one blend that I would say I have to have this one. There's probably 4 or 5 blends that I would say if I had one of these, I'll be okay. Carter Hall's definitely on that list. Haunted Bookshop is on that list. Now, there are days when I want Carter Hall and days when I want Haunted Bookshop, but if I only had one, I'd survive. It would have to be Burley, though. In fact, if I was dropped off on a desert island with enough Burley seed, or just Burley seed that I could start and get more seed from the plants, I'd be a happy guy. I'd probably make it just fine. This, straight homegrown Burley was a fantastic smoke. I really enjoy it. I just like the flavor of Burley. So I'd be easy for desert island. Oh, no, Everett. 3 pouches is still pretty good. And if you cut it 50-50 with Haunted Bookshop, you've got 6 pouches. Oh, Rob, that's fantastic. I hope it works out for you. Let me know. I actually just, if you didn't catch my live stream over the weekend, the pipe that I was smoking last week, that Nerup, started to get really hot on the bottom while I was doing the live stream. And afterwards, I looked at it, and there wasn't any evidence for burnout or anything, but the stain on the bottom was actually coming off. There was like a light patch on the bottom. And the wall is just so thin on the bottom that it was starting to heat up too much. So I put a layer of pipe mortar in there and put it around the walls and everything. And smoked it yesterday, and it worked out beautifully. It did really smoked well. So I'm pretty happy with the pipe mortar. I've used it on several repairs that I've done for folks, and I haven't gotten any negative feedback. I haven't heard anybody say it hasn't worked out on cobs, and everything that I've used it on for myself, it's worked fine. South Jersey Piper would take English blends to his desert island. Well, we won't fight over tobacco when the when the end comes. Oh, desert island non-burley blend. That fragrant. That's going to be tough. Yeah, I agree with that, Ben. The Artful Codger is pointing out that, brand and grain and age really doesn't make that much of a difference. It's the engineering of the pipe, how the airways are drilled, and that's definitely true. That's a big part of what separates a good pipe from a bad pipe. Hello, guys. It's Zen Mood Piper. Good to see you, my friend. Is that an English blend, Alan T? The Sutliff Lord Nelson? I'm not familiar with that one. Boris, you're going to try it out as well? Is that going to be on a cob or a briar pipe? Now I'm having high school flashbacks, Chad. Thank you. Great. Well, please let me know how that works for you, Boris. I'm trying to collect as much feedback as I can on the pipe mortar. I hope it works out well. Eric's taken J.M. Boswell to his desert island. That's... if you could just relocate the shop, that would work out really well. Ah, Paul the Piper trying out H&H Kentucky. Good luck. Okay, Alan, thanks. Light English. I'll have to look into that one. Sutliff Lord Nelson. Bona Piper's asking me a science question. Technically, yes, but it's much better to just develop a vaccine independent of people. So, and also you run the risk of the. So what you're doing there is you're not actually transferring immunity. You're transferring the virus, and you have to hope that the virus is greatly attenuated by the immune response of the person that had it. If that's not the case, you're just basically giving it to somebody else, and they'll develop immunity, but they're going to get sick. Alan T, that's an interesting question. Eric, if you're still out there, do you think JM would be interested in being a call-in guest sometime? And if you'd rather reply offline, we can do that too. Paul, I don't think that's entirely true. I mean, definitely, it's not as clear cut as it seemed to be a few weeks ago. So there are younger people that are having much worse reactions, but I don't think it's just random. I do think age is a factor, and you're in much worse shape if you're older than 70. Yeah, Paul, I understand that. So let's see. PBR Street Gang wants to know what the first blend is going to be for everyone's Matches 860 Remembrance Pipe when they get it. And boy, that's something that may be delayed quite a bit because, Italy's in terrible shape. And for me, it will certainly be Haunted Bookshop. The extract, any wine drinkers out there? Love to talk about wine sometime. I do enjoy it, but I'm not this one has notes of oak and cherry and that kind of stuff. I just like wine. Oh, Everett, you know you're going to mix it. Well, Wildcat Sam, at least you can be certain that nobody will be fighting you for that. Ben, I was thinking about doing that at the outset, but I think folks do need to talk about it a bit. Next time we'll be more stern about that. You'll notice in the little thumbnail that I made, I did indicate that this was, I forget the wording that I used, but it would not be viral, which was a joke on myself that the video would never be viral, but well, hopefully you got it. Hot Wings 326. John, if I remember right, he's asking about the Balvenie back there. Is it back that way? Yes. It's empty. It's actually, I don't even think there's a bottle in there. It's just the empty container, which is handy for holding things. But I don't even think there's anything in it at this point. So yeah, I should move that because people ask about it all the time. But that was a fantastic bottle. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, Chris, the odds are it was going to be empty. Sugar Barrel is not empty, Ben. George Tiedemann's asking about Mutton Chop. I don't know. I heard something that his mom was sick and he was taking some time off to help her out, but I don't know anything else about it. Well, that'll be fine, Alan T. It's it's about the thought, not necessarily about what you're smoking. Yeah, Pegasus would be an excellent choice, Christian. Was that for the Matches pipe or for the Desert Island, or both? Actually, I'd be happy. I'd be happy on a desert island with Pegasus as well. Kilted Piper Steve, if it's your first time with it, it does. People do say it has a bit of a kick to it, so take it easy. And this is true of most Cornell and Deal blends, but Haunted Bookshop and Old Joe Krantz, in my opinion, when you get them, jar them up for at least a couple of weeks. Cornell and Deal makes their blends pretty much on demand, so what you're getting is very recently blended for the most part, unless you buy a tin. And it just needs a little bit more time to meld. Sometimes just 2 or 3 weeks is enough, but you'll notice a dramatic difference between when you first get the bag of Haunted Bookshop and if you can jar it up for, like I said, even just 2 or 3 weeks. Gotcha, Christian. Yeah, Pegasus would be a great choice. He definitely enjoyed that blend. You know, Wildcat Sam, I got to be honest with you. I've never had Lane Very Cherry. I just assume, and I know that I'm wrong about this, that all cherry blends are not going to be good. But I have had some good ones. Chad, you've got really bad luck then. Piano Piper, I don't think the tins are milder. I think they just have more time to meld. Yeah, I know someone that did that, Ben. The the hope was to speed up that melding process. It was okay. So Wheeled Piper's putting in another vote for Very Cherry. Hello, Andrew. Good to see you. Steve, that's... Mixture 79, that's an interesting choice. Well, that's good, Arkansas Mike. Like I said, I haven't tried it. I have tried, is it Peter Stokeby that makes 3 cherry? Which I enjoyed. It's not something I would keep on hand, but as an occasional treat, it was quite nice. Ah, got you, Wheel Piper. Ah, okay. The extract is asking, what's everyone's favorite thing to drink while smoking? Got you, Wheeled Piper. So it's not a quality thing. It's a palate thing, not your choice. Monty 53, have you tried the Peter Stokeby? I'm pretty certain it's Stokeby's 3 cherry. Yeah, for me it's actually usually water. That's what I'm drinking most of the time. Up until the afternoon, I might have coffee. I do have coffee, but I may or may not have a pipe with it. But in the evening, it's almost always water. This is Friday nights are special. Yeah, PBR Street Gang, that's a nice thing. I like an early morning pipe with coffee, or sometimes in the spring and summer when it's not too hot, an early morning Connecticut cigar, Connecticut wrapper. I don't like those most of the time. I like the stronger, darker wrappers, but there's something about that combination of a nice cool morning, a Connecticut wrap cigar, and a cup of coffee that really makes me happy. We should move out here, Pipes and Shores. We hit 76 today, and it was a beautiful day. Threatening thunderstorms all day, but they never really materialized. It did rain overnight. G&H Cherry Cream Flake. It's a good suggestion, Christian. I might have some of that if I'm not mistaken. Wow. That's not anywhere near as pleasant, Pipes and Chores. I hope spring hits you soon. The Artful Codger is like the post office of piping. Rob Van Schotten is enjoying 673 Dalmati. Nice pipe. Peterson Royal Yacht and a fresh Heineken. Sounds good, my friend. Wow, Christopher Young, almost 90. Yeah, that's the way to think about it, Paul. I know, Christian. I know. This weekend I'm probably going to start doing some yard cleanup and some landscaping. It's okay because I've got a fence so nobody can get within 6 feet of me. Oh, Ben. It's true though. There's something really nice about a cold winter day with the snow falling and standing there in the window with a pipe in your hand. It I don't know if it's just one of those sort of nostalgic memories that you recreate, but there's something very nice about that. Yeah, or a good thunderstorm, Chad. That's true too. It's getting cold again on Saturday, South Jersey Piper. Yeah, well, it's bound to happen. Yeah, Dallas, I saw something the other day on, I think it was on Instagram, suggesting that pipe smokers were the original social distancers. Yeah, we used to get snow in Pennsylvania. That seems like a long time ago. Working on a leather bag, Wisconsin woodsman. Sounds good. That's some really cool stuff. Eric, are you answering a question that I asked about 15 minutes ago? Brian, I actually am working on one. I know I keep saying this, but I have recorded the first sort of the introduction overview of the pipe. So there will be more shop type videos coming out soon. The reason it's been slow is that I've had a lot of, customer pipes to work on, and I just have not had the time to set aside to do it. But it's coming. Yeah, Eric, that's my impression as well. But it doesn't hurt to ask, I suppose. Hat Piper's breaking in a Savinelli Canada series. Not familiar with that one. Yeah, it's a good shout out, Wildcat Sam. Paladin Piper has done a whole series of cherry blend reviews, and they're well done. So check out his channel, Paladin Piper, if you're not familiar with him. Reed Bender Bud, Ken Byron Ventures, Dark Fired Cherry. That sounds very interesting. Ain't it the truth, Paul? This is not something that you can go anywhere to get away from. Berserkly, good to see you, buddy. Cellini Pipe. So Cellini was a shop, or is a shop, in Chicago, I believe. And I actually have a video where I restored a Cellini Canadian lumberman, depending on what you want to call it. So if you go check out my channel somewhere in the, if you look at the, what's it called when you put videos together? I'm blanking on what that word is. Playlists. I'll have a playlist that has a Cellini pipe in it, and I talk about some of the history of Cellini in the first of those videos. Bonapiper's asking, what's the stinkiest blend you guys have ever smoked? I've never smoked a stinky blend, Christian. Oh, sounds good, Eric. I just wish we knew when that would be. I've heard other folks dislike the gaslight room note, Ben. That's funny. Chad's wife thinks all of them are horrendous. Yeah. I'm lucky. I talked about this over the weekend, I think, but my wife, God bless her, she just doesn't notice that I'm smoking even. It takes time for the Stockholm Syndrome to set in the extract, so give them time. Another 5 or 6 years, I'm sure they'll sympathize with you. Eric, I've heard some. I haven't bought any, but I've heard that bourbon barrel plum pudding is really nice stuff. There you go, Paul. Yeah, there's always the other side of the coin, isn't there, Paul? Oh gosh, WKR Piper, that's nice of you to say, but honestly, it's a great crowd, and I'm so happy that you guys are out there for me. 2 a.m. pipe on the patio. How you doing, Onion? Good to see you, buddy. Couch, how you doing, my friend? Are you asking me, Wildcat Sam? I'll answer. I favor dry wines myself. That's one of the problems that we have, my wife and I, because she likes sweeter whites, and I prefer the dry, very heavily tannin-laced reds, and so we seldom have a bottle that we both enjoy. Hello, Cisco76. Good to see you. Thanks, Pipes and Chores. Honestly, I look forward to it myself. So I'm glad to know guys feel that way. Well, fragrant offering, that's not a bad way to solve the problem, and that's often what we wind up doing. I envy people like you, Wildcat Sam, that can switch back and forth like that. I don't like sweet things in general, so it's really hard for me. Daniel, thanks for staying up and joining us. You have a good night. Okay, Ben, that's enough of that. Gamecock Piper, sorry that didn't work out for you, but you have a good evening. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, PBR Street Gang, coming from you, that's high praise. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Well, I've pretty much gotten to the end of that bowl. We're almost at the hour, but since a lot of folks just came in and I don't think there's anything after us, I'm willing to hang around for another half hour or so if you guys are into it. If you're not, feel free to go somewhere else. We'll know soon enough, won't we? Switching over to the Bing's favorite. So it's been a long pipe evening. Started off with this ridiculous church warden. That's from my years of cigar smoking. I have Churchill in my mind when I pick those up. And this beautiful Briar Spirit, I don't know what you would call that. It's a freehandish sort of thing. So now we'll go over to the Bing's favorite. Dominic, sorry to hear that, buddy. But it happens to quite a few of us eventually. And nice thing is you can still enjoy the camaraderie. And I was really impressed recently. I don't know how many of you guys follow Cobbett of the Shire, but he's run into some health issues and has to stop smoking. And the way guys stepped up, and actually Onion was one of the guys that did this to let him know that that's okay. We're not friends just because we smoke pipes, was really something, in my opinion. It made me feel good, and I think that's going to be true for all of us. You know, we're not just here because we smoke pipes. That's how we got here. Well, you're always welcome, Dominic. Yeah, Steven is a great guy. I really have enjoyed him for some time. Bona Piper, you always give me a reason to laugh, my friend. I appreciate that. Hey, Adita, good to see you. How late is it? Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Yeah, Boris, we'll just have to see. It seems like every season is going to be the Eagles season these days, and well, this one we don't even know if it's going to start. Okay, Chad, thanks a lot. Have a good evening. That's a good question, Steve. How do I find time to clean other people's pipes when I have so many? I just don't clean my own. It's funny, but the old story about the only guy in the town that has holes in his shoes is the shoemaker is absolutely true. Your secret is safe with us, Dominic. Thanks for clarifying that, Paul. We we would have been worried. So I'll admit to something. Oh, Paul, that's just not right. I'll admit to something that I probably shouldn't. But you know, anytime anyone asks me how do you take care of a pipe, I'll tell them you smoke it properly, and then when it's done, you let it cool. As soon as it's cool, you knock out the ash. You run a pipe cleaner through. I suggest taking it apart and cleaning out the mortise, and then you put it away and you rest it. Now, I don't do any of that. I refill pipes, smoke them several times a day. When I'm done smoking them, I will often put them in an ashtray and forget about them for several days or until the ashtray is full of pipes and I have no choice but to clean them. And then I'll have a big clean out and, you know, get them all ready again. So, you know, basically, the advice that we all get and the advice that we all give is probably good, but I can tell you from experience, it's not absolutely necessary. Now, come on, I know that there are other guys that do that. In fact, I've seen pictures of some of them. The NFL season belongs. Tom Brady's washed up. I'm surprised he got picked up, to be honest. There you go, Ben. You know, I wouldn't have said that if I didn't know you were out there, PBR Street Gang. Thank you, Pipes and Shores. Good to know I'm not alone. There you go, Piper on 45. Good advice. Gentleman Mike's asking, does anyone enjoy meerschaum pipes? Yeah, I'm sure that there's a lot of folks out there that do. This month has been a month for meerschaum pipe smokers to show off their pipes. Yeah, we got a couple of votes for them. I own one meerschaum pipe. And, you know, I got it and I thought, yeah, I've heard a lot of good stuff about them and all, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's a great pipe. It just doesn't smoke that different to me, and it's more fussy than Briar. So to me, I just like Briar. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I like everything about Briar. I like the feel of it. I like the texture. I like the grain patterns. So I just don't care to try other things. Yeah, Cincinnati's had a rough run. So one thing I will say, just to amend my earlier, don't worry about cleaning, and you guys can disagree with me on this if you want, but I do think it's important to ream the pipe. So I will keep an eye on the cake, and when it gets to be too much, I will ream it. And you know, I try to shoot for that dime thickness that folks talk about. The reason that I do that is I do believe that you can crack the bowl if you let the cake get too much out of control. Having said that, I've gotten pipes that you couldn't fit a pencil into that had so much cake, and there was no damage to the bowl at all. So maybe that's just as much voodoo as everything else we do. Oh, gentlemen might smoke them, you know, if you like them. They're beautiful pipes. That's pretty much what I do, Everett. Is there a wax you can use to bring back the shine on the rim of a pipe when it was brand new? So the first thing you got to worry about, JMZ56, is the rim actually clean? Because a lot of times there's buildup of stuff. So you want to get it nice and clean, and then the best thing to use would be carnauba wax, but you need a buffer to put that on. I used to use some of the microcrystalline waxes that are things like Halcyon, Renaissance, and they do a nice job. They don't last as long as the carnauba, but that's one option. Yeah, that's what I've heard as well, pipes and bees, and for that reason, I am pretty careful about not letting the cake get too far out of control. Oh, that's the Artful Codger is giving advice that I cannot endorse. Well, that's a good strategy, Dallas. So have a beater pipe and then have the other ones that you take better care of. That's the truth, pipes and chores. As long as you're enjoying it, you're doing it right. Adita is asking about mortar pipes. I only have one mortar pipe. I can't say that it smokes dramatically different than Briar. It smokes a bit hotter than Briar, but that's the only real difference I've noticed. Have I seen lacquer bubble up when smoking? I have not, but I have seen lacquer pipes where the lacquer has bubbled, so I'm sure that's how it got that way, but it hasn't happened to me. You're doing it wrong, Paul the Piper. Oh, Ben. You got that right, Dallas. I've toyed with the idea of baking pipes, Dominic. It's not something I ever think I would do, to sell. For me, it's more about I'd like to be able to sort of experiment with airway size and things like that, and that would be the best way to do it. But that's a different skill set than what I have, and there's guys that are very, very good at it. Bills in this estate pipe I got. Yeah, I'm sure it did make a mess, Dominic. And Carl makes some beautiful pipes. WKR Piper, I have no idea. If it's in a paste wax form, it's probably not going to work. I shouldn't say that. It'll work, but it's going to rub off more quickly than a true coat of pure carnauba would. Yeah, Berserkly, you do want pure carnauba, but you need to have a buffer to put that on. Clay pipes are somewhat popular, Dallas, so why not? Well, PBR Street Gang, you would never buy a pipe from me then. Okay, gentlemen, Mike, thanks for stopping in. It was good to see you. Have a good evening. Paul, beeswax is kind of like it's very soft and you can use it, but it's not going to last very long. All right, Matt, you take care too. Yeah, pipes and bees, I think that's true. There's a lot of challenges in repair where you're needing to work within the confines of what the pipe maker has created for you. When you're making the pipe, you're pretty much free to do whatever you want. So it is in some ways more challenging, but that's the reason I enjoy it, to be honest. I would get bored if I was just free to do whatever I wanted. I like having those challenges. Hello, B. Conrad. Piano Piper, I use the insert. I don't use any filters. Not that there's anything wrong with them. So I'm going to keep going for till 9:30, so another 15 minutes or so. And I want to make sure that I mention that next week, I got things wrong last week when someone asked me what's up next. I'm sorry, Paul, it's actually not you. In fact, you're not scheduled until May, I believe, so I don't know why I thought it was you. Next week, we've got Corvette Jim Piper, which is going to be a great interview. So I'm looking forward to that. Jim's, you probably have seen Jim's YouTube channel, and he does some really nice work on pipes and just is a great guy. I enjoy watching him and looking forward to getting to know him a bit better. South Jersey Piper, I don't know, like it's going to vary from pipe to pipe. So I've always used it in the Bings, and I don't know how it would smoke without it. I have a, what is that thing? I think it's a 622 KS that unfortunately the stem broke on, and I have not had time to fix. Yeah, B. Conrad, that's the truth. Anyway, that 622 is a filter pipe, and I don't have anything in that, and it's always smoked really well for me. The fear is that if you don't have something filling that space, you're going to get a lot of condensation, and the pipe's going to gurgle. So, try it out. You can buy the inserts. I think Smoking Pipe has them. So when is the Columbus Pipe Show? Is that in the near future? It's in August, so yeah, but hopefully we'll be seeing the light by then. All right, Dominic, good to see you, my friend. Have a good evening. Good point, Christian. If it's a Bing, you want to make sure you get the 6mm, because I think 9mm is actually bigger than the shank. Yeah, Pipes and Chores, I think you're right. It is called an adapter. All right, Piano Piper, thanks for stopping in. Chuck's asking how I clean the Briar before waxing. So it depends. If it's just one of my pipes that I'm cleaning up, I will. It depends. I mean, if it's not dirty, I'll just buff it a little bit using the white diamond wheel, which is a lightly abrasive wheel, and that gets pretty much everything off. If it's an estate pipe or a customer's pipe that needs to be cleaned, I'll use Murphy's oil soap on it and with a little bit of water to clean it, let it dry a bit, and then I'll do that same process, buff it on the white diamond wheel followed by the carnauba wax, and that usually takes care of it. It gets a bit more complicated with rusticated pipes because the wax can get caught in the rustication, so you use a different process for that. But that's the basic idea. Holy smokes, good to see you, my friend. How are things in the Philippines these days? Yes, Patrick, I think all new Savinelli pipes do come with the adapter, but the estates typically don't. It's rare that I've seen. I've bought a few Savinelli estates to restore and things, and I don't think I've ever gotten an adapter with one. I have gotten the original bag of filters with them, but never the adapter. On lockdown and indefinite, yeah, that's seeming like the common word these days, Father. I hope you guys are all safe, and we'll certainly be keeping you in prayer. Yes, Steve, it varies. I've had pipes that I had to restain after using Murphy's oil soap. I've had other pipes that just don't seem to mind it. But it's the most reliable cleaner that I've found for doing this kind of work. So I use it despite that risk that it might take off some of the stain. I had one pipe. So this is actually a Matches 860 story. He was doing a giveaway where he had, I think it was 2 pipes that he was giving away. And as part of the giveaway, I agreed to do a refurb on the pipes because they were estate pipes. And so the idea was he would send me the pipes, I would refurb them, and then I would send them out to the winner. And this all had to be done pretty quickly. So I got these 2 pipes, and I don't remember what they are. I've actually got a video of the refurbs on these. And one of them was this sort of red, very shiny red coating on it. And I put the Murphy's oil soap on it, and I walked away for 20 minutes, which is what I normally do. And when I came back and looked at the pipe, it had like bubbled, and that red coating was just completely gone. I wiped it off, and it was basically bare Briar underneath. So I panicked a little bit because I was supposed to get this thing done quickly and passed off. But they were both John and the recipient of the pipe were good about it. They liked the final results. Thank you, the Mano. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. The Man 11. There we go. That wasn't that hard. Thank you for that. I do appreciate it. But I'm not doing anything special. I'm just spending time with friends. And honestly, guys, a lot of folks thank me for doing this. I should be thanking them because this is truly the highlight of my week. And I'm not just saying that to be kind. I really do enjoy this that much. Just having the chance to interact with you guys and talk about pipes, but talk about other things in life as well. Have some laughs. We don't get to do this enough in our modern world, and to have a chance to every week do it is really special to me. Hello, Josh. Good to see you. I just barely caught that about the 4-digit format on the 7LE. Mike Clark, I don't know. It's actually hard to date 7LEs. Yeah, vodka or any alcohol can take the wax right off of a pipe, so you got to be careful with that. Yeah, Dallas, I have heard that, and that is just fantastic. How are things in Vermont, Josh? Uh, PBR Street Gang, next week is going to be Corvette Jim Piper. Josh, the last word I got on the matches 860 pipe run was from Eddie Gray's announcement last week. I think it was last week, which is it's going forward. He's extended the amount of time to take orders, so you can still order them. And he would very much like to get enough orders in that we can actually get 860 made so that every pipe will be stamped, number 45 out of 860. So that's the hope. But of course, with everything that's going on in Italy right now, 7LE might not be terribly responsive, so this might delay things. Eric, thank you. And I feel the same way, my friend. It's good to know you. Have a good night. Dropping to 25. Yeah, that's close to what we've got. We're in the low 30s tonight, I think. Yeah, Josh, and I'm in no way speaking for Eddie. I'm just pointing out that there might be a delay. You'd have to ask him. I don't know anything about it, other than I watched his video. Good night, Piper on the 45. Good of you to stop in tonight. Yeah, I've heard about that pipes and chores. It's an interesting phenomenon. The reason why church wardens were originally called church wardens, if you believe the story, is that they were designed so that they could be put outside the church window and smoked during services without the smoke being in the church. So since we can't do that now, the live streaming is the next best thing. I'll tell you, I've been doing meetings with web-based screen sharing and audio and everything, and I've been doing this all week, and I've been smoking pipes and drinking coffee and just having the time of my life. I never get to do this stuff when I work. It's going to be hard to go back to work because I'm not going to be able to smoke a pipe while I'm doing it. Paul, you're starting to scare me. South Jersey Piper, I only do the Saturday live stream once a month, and that's just for the giveaway. So keep watching these, and I'll announce when the next one is going to be. And thank you for stopping in. Have a good night. Ah, it's the HH Kentucky talking. Gotcha. Yeah, Josh, I think that would be really cool. And I don't know how many more he needs. If I remember his email right, he was gonna, if the number got up to 750, he would put in the rest of the money to get the 860 made, and then he would, sell them as people wanted them. But even if we can't get to the 860, it's still going to be a very nice tribute and a great thing for John's family to get that donation. So I think we're good all around. Ain't it the truth, Ben? And I find myself working harder because of that. I feel like I'm cheating in some way. Yes, WKR Piper, I do know better. That's funny though. Good night, Rob. Have a good evening. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, Big Dave, I was really surprised recently. I've been researching multi-camera setups for live streaming, and the reason I'm researching that is that I am trying to do some changes in how I make these videos so that I can incorporate things like Skype and video from outside sources, and maybe have the guests appear like in a split screen or something. And in doing that, I found out that there is an entire industry around this live streaming of church services that really surprised me. Specialized software for it even. Like there's actually something called, I think it was called Worship Stream or something like that. Software specifically designed for churches to be able to live stream their services. Really interesting. And I guess, in our modern age, it's inevitable, really. Yeah, pipes and bees, they're actually synergistic. There's a strong synergy between nicotine and caffeine. Yeah, Big Dave, it's an absolute, no pun intended, godsend in these days. That would be tough, Josh. And unfortunately, those folks are probably the ones that most need the support right now. Yeah, Ben, I've had several meetings like that, and the only thing that's missing is I'm really hoping that next week the weather will be good enough that I can sit outside and enjoy the cool breeze and sunshine while smoking a pipe and pretending to do work or doing work. Well, WKR Piper, that's an interesting way to think about it, but I don't want to have such lofty aspirations. That's good, Josh. I'm sure that's a real challenge, but it's good that guys like you are out there doing it. That's great. Yeah, Pipes and Bees, I think you're not alone there. And we had a beautiful day today, but it's not going to last. Well, folks, we've actually gone over the 9:30 point now, so I don't want to drag this out too much longer. I really appreciate everyone stopping in tonight and having some fun. You know, sharing some laughs and sharing some pipes. It's good for all of us. I think it's something we need, and I hope that as this continues, I'll be able to continue to at least provide some little tiny bit of normality in life. So we'll see how things go. Please don't forget to join us next week with Corvette Jim. And until then, you all take care. I'll see you Sunday. I will do a video Sunday morning. And look forward to seeing you all then. So have a good night, everyone.